It's your girl Ash. Thanks again for checking me out. As always, thanks. If you are new here, welcome. Thanks for checking out my shenanigans. Tonight we are going to be, or not even tonight, this afternoon, because it's daytime, y'all. I'm actually on it than I have been before. But we are going to be recapping episode 8 of Queens. And let's go ahead and get into it, okay? All right, so episode 8 was first off called God's Plan. And once I realized why it was called God's Plan, y'all, this episode was heart wrenching, blast in the past, like all that good stuff. So, boom. Eric was shot. He was shot. If you seen my other video, you clearly heard I said that it looked like he wasn't shot. It looked like maybe the blood had splattered on him. But no, he actually was shot. So him and Brianna both were rushed to the hospital. The girls are behind them on the way in the car trying to figure out why, who would do this to any of them or whatnot. And what I really loved about this episode was we got another blast in the past, and then of course with the blast in the past brought somebody from the past. So 1993 is basically how things all kicked off with Queens. Brianna is in a private school, and Naomi, probably in a regular public school, but basically Brianna was brought to Naomi to tutor her for like Shakespeare. And of course, Naomi's this rough, tough girl. So she's not feeling the whole Shakespeare thing. She's not feeling, really getting a tutor. She's talking about, who she likes. Basically, they ended up vibing over music. And, Brianna showed her that, she could rap too, that she had a liking for music too, or whatever, whatnot. And Shakespeare had a flow to him too, even though it didn't sound like your normal flow. All right, so what ended up happening is she does end up bringing Brianna home, and she ends up bringing Naomi home, and her mom is clearly like, she's like this prestigious Ivy League. I think she had like a doctor coat on. So she's clearly she it's like she let on early on that she did not approve of this new friend that Brianna had made. And she was like, well, I actually have a private, a play date for you myself. And it's actually Jill. And of course, Jill is her normal, I love God, I love Jesus, and all in all, Naomi had told Brianna that at the end of the day, she wanted to form a group so that they can, they can perform at this show or whatever. So Brianna's boom, she's off. She wants to be in the group, and so the this play date for who's also, because Jill is in private school as well, and mind you, so Naomi is the one that's kind of, the oddball of them. So they kind of like laughing and giggling at her because she's a church girl. But while they were at the house, they were practicing. And Jill gets up like, yes, I love God, but I like to rap too. I love music too, or something like that. And, she kills it. So, of course, that surprises them. That, wait a minute, what? Like, this what you got for us? And boom, there's the group. That's how the group starts. So, y'all, getting back to the present, Brianna is basically, like, you can tell that she's fighting for her life, right? So in the midst of everything, going on, of course, a detective comes up, wants to talk to the ladies about who could possibly be, want to hurt them or harm them. Though I'm not feeling him off gate. Like, he already coming off like he feel like they the suspects, like they had something to do with it. But they end up telling him, well, Valeria says, hey, you need to look into this Rosie person because after, I went to the police after she threatened me. Boom. Jill's like, you need to look into Tina. Tina, was not happy with me. She's angry. I've been pissing a lot of, making a lot of people mad. And Muffin, she's worried. So, of course, she ends up telling the detective about, what's his name, about Jadakiss and how Jadakiss how basically Eric owed Jadakiss money, and now he had gotten beat up, and then right before they were shot, he had, the statement that he made about, I'll get you your money. So again, it's a secret. So as well, she's telling the officer, don't say anything to the other ladies because they don't even know. So they talk to the officer. They go, they want to get an update. They want to check on them, but they're not family, so they can't give them any information, which then reminds them of like the kids. Where are the kids? They need to get the kids, Brianna's kids. But because Naomi and I'm gonna kill my son, because Naomi and because Naomi and Eric actually share a child together, she mentions that, and the nurse does, give her information. I think that he was like out of surgery and he was good. So she does go, she sits in, with him by his side, and, they were talking about how they were able to, remove the bullet. And she asks him, are you okay? Do you have something going on? Are you in trouble? Boom. Here's your chance, Eric. Let's go ahead and get out on the table. You don't want to lie. You want them to trust you, but you continue to lie. And of course, he lies, says she's paranoid. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. So Valeria does get the kids and she brings them to the hospital. And of course, with that, we also get Brianna's mom. So Bree's mom does show up. She does show up, and it's blatantly clear that she does not like any of the women. She does not like any of them. She's stepping up like, grandkids, I'm here, just this ness about her or whatever, whatnot. Like, you can just tell it's, mad friction. And apparently she blames the girls for Brianna's lifestyle, basically, for why she didn't go to Harvard or whatever, whatnot. So the doctor lets them know that, she's out of surgery, but she is on life support, right? So she's saying that the kids, and she said, if the kids want to, no, it wasn't even the doctor. It was the nurse, y'all. So the nurse was like, if we want to bring, that the grandma could bring the kids in if she wants, to see the kids or whatever. And she's like, no, let her sleep or something like that. Or like no, like she was like, no, she's asleep. And they were looking at her like, what? Like, they want to go in there with her. They want to be with her. They want to, let her, Brianna, know that even in her state that they're here with her. And she's like, no, would you like anybody looking over you while you're sleeping? Like, what is her deal, y'all? Like, it was, I just couldn't believe she went there. But the kids were like, that they wanted to see her or whatever or whatnot. And she was just like, well, that's not the image that I want to basically, that's not the last image that she wanted to see or whatever or whatnot. So Valeria is the one who ended up taking the kids in there to see their mom. And they just had questions, y'all. They just had questions. And I mean, who wouldn't? Kids their age, they're trying to figure out what's the state of their mom. Is she going to make it? Is she not going to make it? And what's that going to look like for them? It makes actually Valeria reflect a little bit, because she's talking about, regardless, like, she loves you, your mom loves you. And she's like, just like my mom loved me. So everything that's kind of happening is causing like basically some type of reflection for them, as well. Just like in regards to if something was to happen, what would we do? Who would be the one that would handle all these things? So, like, Eric is okay. So of course the detective goes in to talk to him, and of course he acts completely clueless, like he don't know what's going on or whatnot. He's like, yeah, at the end of the day, Muffin, your associate Muffin told me that, or your colleague, whatever he called her, told me that, you have this issue with Jadakiss. But, Eric plays it off, again, acts like it's nothing. And so, the cop was like, at the end of the day, basically, you need to be worried about the fact that the person who tried to kill you is still at large. And he left him at that, and basically wished him good luck and left him at that. But all the while, he was able to actually clear Tina, as well as Tina and Rosie, as suspects or whatever, whatnot. He was able to confirm that they, were seen or, basically had other alibis. So of course, Jadakiss is still on the chopping block as far as, at this point, he's like the main suspect. So, oh, y'all, so the doctor finally does come, and it's her spleen, her liver, and her spine. And what ended up happening is she's like, she needs to have this surgery to remove the remaining fragments from her spine. And she as well recommended it. She was like, if it were my family member, I would do the surgery. And of course, I already knew the fact that she was so nasty about nobody going in the room with Brie, talking about some, oh, she'll be fine, she'll be fine. I knew she was going to have something to say. I knew she was not going to want to do the surgery, whatever. And she did. She was like, no, don't touch my baby. Leave her alone. No. She's going to be fine. What? Come on now. Like, what's wrong? Like, I need that. I need, it's got to be something more to that than just her just having history with these girls. Like, what is this? And mind you, like I said, everybody is, in like this self-reflection, not even self-reflection, but like just this mode of if emergency does happen, if this was to happen, if that was to happen. So, Mother had went in and checked on, Eric, and basically kind of like, like they were talking about how she had, told the cop, about Jadakiss, and he's like, he's downplaying it. He's like, this is just hip hop stuff, this is how we handle it. You didn't handle it like this. And she's like, nah, bro, this is real life. I don't know what, era you're still living in, but this is like real life stuff. And he's like, I'm gonna take care of it. As he's saying he's gonna take care of it. And back in comes Naomi. And, she again wants to know, what is it that, you got to take care of? Again, still lying. Like, you have so many chances to tell her the truth. And this is only going to make things worse for him. So, basically, but she was coming back or whatever, because like I said, she was, basically saying that she wanted to make things legal between them. I guess basically put him on the birth certificate, so if anything was to happen, it can show that legally they are family and they won't have to jump through all these hoops and wait for this person or that person to show up in order to make decisions about the well-being, about their health or well-being. And then they kiss, y'all. So it's kind of got me like, was that just a moment of just like, yo, life just got real? Or was that like a life just got real? And you know what? I think I realized how much maybe we want to do what we don't want to do. I don't know what y'all think though. So let's go ahead and move on. So like I said, even though Rosie has been cleared, the cop had her or whatnot, and she had like warrants or was wanted somewhere or whatnot. Either way, she went down into the police station to go and talk to her before, they were going to be sending her off to wherever they were sending her off to. I think the place where she had like, where she was wanted or whatnot. And they ended up having a conversation, of course, about her mom. And she was like this. She admitted that she really didn't know her. She admitted that she did love Valeria. And Valeria, of course, wanted more information. And that's when she tried to, I tell you, calm people, they will not give up to get what they want, to get what they might feel they're entitled to. So she's like, oh, get me a good lawyer and I'll tell you all the information that you want to know. Valeria got up so quick, like, I ain't got time for these games with you. And, she basically, and unfortunately, she told her that, her mom did love her, but unfortunately, her mom is dead. And that sucked, y'all. That really sucked. So jumping back to Blast in the Past back in 1993. So they all zooped up, for the show. They're going to do this little show or whatever, whatnot. and they run into this, I guess what the promoter, maybe the host of the person who was doing the little show, which was crazy because I thought, that was Eric, which I should have known better because I was like, dang, he was that older than them? He was that older than them? It wasn't. Eric was actually in the audience peeping them or whatever, whatnot. So, of course, they basically kind of snuck to this show because when they see Brianna Mama pop up at the show, oh, man, Mama is pissed. Mama is lit, but they out there, they go, they do the performance, and they kill it. No, that's not what Mama wanted. That is not what Mama wanted at all. And it was basically at that moment that they became, the nasty bitches. And actually, like I said, Eric was in the show. So when they were leaving with Brianna's mom, Eric had came up to them in the car and was just saying, that he was a manager and, that the crowd loved them, that he was rocking and, that he wanted to work for him. And off gate, Naomi got the googly eyes. She had the googly eyes for him automatically or whatever, whatnot. So that was like how they met, how they became to be the nasty bitches, and I love stuff like that. I love when they go and they give us a history into what's going on. Valeria was handling that little situation with her fake mom. Not Brianna, Naomi and Jill were in the room checking it, just talking to Brianna and just saying, reminiscing on how they had became a group, and just talking about how she was the glue that had kept them together, which at that point it made them stand up to Bree's mom. And just like this ain't it. This ain't what we're gonna do. We realize that we didn't, we don't have a good relationship with each other, but we wanna. They had her back. They was rooting for her and speaking all the things that they knew that Brianna would have wanted for herself if she was able to speak up for herself. And of course, it wasn't that so easy. The mama did push back, blaming them and pointing the finger back at them, but they didn't back down either. All right. Nonetheless, my baby was rolled on into into surgery, right? So Jada Kiss pops up at the hospital on Eric like, bruh, you got all this heat on me. You need to clear this up because I didn't do it. Yes. So 3 suspects, all of them now done. He didn't do it. But nonetheless, when you get out of here, you going to have to still see me. You still going to have to see me when you get up out of here. This ain't done. But nonetheless, he cleared. So he leaves. Muffin sees him come out of Eric's room. And what does she do? She panics. She go ahead and tell Valeria and Naomi that Eric's in trouble. He owed Jadakiss money. Bye, 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 bye. But, just when, all right, we're thinking like, okay, who could it be? Well, who is it then? I wasn't expecting this one, y'all. They got me on this one because I was not expecting this one. So the cop comes up asking, where is Jill? And he's like, well, Jill is, Jill was in a chapel praying or whatever, whatnot. He was like, because we have the suspect, clear as day, taking off his mask. We know who he is. Next thing we know, Jill's ex-husband is rolling up on Jill in the chapel. And she looking like, what are you doing here? And he starts talking this weird stuff, y'all. Talking about, I love to watch you pray. And God's plan. God's plan? What are you talking about? Yes, it was meant for us to be together. That's why you weren't hit by the bullet. And she's like, wait a minute. What? That was you? Mind you, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? That was you? I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get here with Jill's ex-husband? Everything seemed to be fine. He signed the divorce, and now why does he want to kill them, y'all? Like, what is going on? So He goes and he chokes her. She manages to like get a candlestick, knocks him on the head, and he falls down unconscious. And of course, just in time, the cops come in, and she's distraught because she's like, this was all my fault. This was all my fault. This was all my fault. Y'all, while she dealing with that though, my heart is doing like this though. Because while that's happening, Brianna is in surgery and she flatlined. And what pissed me off though, they tell us up on TV. She flatlined, y'all, and the doctors look at each other when she flatlined. And I'm like, what y'all looking at each other for? Like, do something. Like, do something. Make me mad. So, they're technically in. So of course, like I guess they have like this little gadget that can give you those things to make your heart, start pumping again or whatever, whatnot. And they are trying. I think she makes it though. And I'll say this was because as it ended, as it was ending, they're showing like, the ending clips of, of everything. It was the sound, the noise of the flat line. And then to like the very ending, even getting into the credits, next thing you know, the flat line turned into faint boom booms. Boom booms. So they either playing with us or my girl Brie made it. I know one, like I've been saying, we didn't come this far for Bree to die. Okay, so they better figure it out. I can't wait till next week because I definitely want to see, I hope we get more on Brianna's mom. We need to get more on Jill's ex-husband. Why he, was it it was God's plan for y'all to be meant to be together, but you tried to kill her. So was it one of those, if I can't have you, no one can, type thing? I don't even know. I hope the lighting didn't get darker because as I'm looking at it, the lighting got darker, at least, or just might be me. Catch me next week, guys. Subscribe and turn them bells on so that you can be notified when I post the next video for next week, as well as any other recaps that you would like to see. And like the video, of course, if you enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.